As we wait for more people to come in, I just want to say really quickly, I want to apologize for my last live. I didn't make sure that my settings were correct in my last live, so I had a lot of notifications going off, and my phone that I used was not connected to my Wi-Fi, so my service was choppy. So I do apologize for that, but I did make sure this time that my settings were clear, and I made sure that my sound is off. So appreciate you as I work through just being a new streamer. Sometimes you have to learn. And a lot of times when I get on these lives, I'm going straight from my full time onto the lives. And I kind of, sometimes move too fast. And that's what happened last time. So my apologies. But let's get into tonight's live. So earlier today, I was, pondering Clarissa Shields' next move as far as her boxing career, right? She's done with the K Scott fight. We've already reviewed that, talked about that. And I came across this interview that she did where she was saying she wanted to retire after doing 11 more fights and be 30 and 0. So go check out that video. It is talking about who could she potentially fight, if anybody, the band, all of that. I did not know when I was doing that video that Alycia Baumgardner would announce a new fight that she is embarking upon on November the 8th, 2026. I knew that she was getting ready for a fight because she had made mention of a fight later on this year. She was training, she's constantly training, but I did not know that she not only had a reality TV show appearance that she was, getting in shape for, but also a fight. So this is a big fight because for several reasons. First of all, she's challenging herself to go up in weight. I know it's not much weight. It's only 135 pounds when she normally fights at no more than 130. But the challenge with that is some women do have a problem with gaining weight. And when you gain weight, especially as a woman, you don't want to do that in the wrong way when you're a boxer. You want to pack on muscle. And so anytime you're doing anything with losing weight, gaining weight, or whatever, it's very challenging, right? So her opponent is from Turkey, and I believe her how you pronounce her name is Elfin. And in listening to commentary from one of her opponent's last fights, the commentators were saying that she's one of the hardest hitting women in boxing. Okay, this is who Alycia. Hello, how are you? This is who Alycia is going up against. A woman who is from Turkey. They say she's a hard hitter. She has a 14 and 0 record. Okay, so she has a perfect record right now. And Alycia, I applaud her for challenging herself. Let me tell you why she's challenging herself, not only with the weight gain, but with also fighting 3-minute rounds. Okay. Usually in ladies boxing, it is 2 minutes and it's going to be 10 rounds. Okay. Based on, what people are saying, it's going to be a really good fight. Okay. What you say? I'm going to go. Okay. I'll subscribe and like though. Thank you. I appreciate that. Speaking of liking and subscribing, if you haven't already, please do so. I would appreciate it. It's for free. If you enjoy my commentary, if you enjoy the videos, the lives, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I appreciate that. But anyway, Alycia is really challenging herself. Some people have tried to say that Alycia is scary. She doesn't want to fight certain people. And she's showing that she's going outside the box. She's going outside of who you would think that she would fight. And she's fighting this heavy hitter. And looking at the scorecard for the both of the ladies, it's a really good, evenly matched fight. They've already started the pre-sale for this fight. It's going to be in Arlington, Texas. I remember a couple of months back, maybe a few weeks back, she was talking about where should she have her next fight. She was mentioning New York, perhaps. She did mention Texas. She was like, she's trying to figure out where her core fans are. I believe she's already fought in Madison Square Garden, if I'm not mistaken. So taking it down to Texas in November is good. I believe that it's going to be a really good event for the ladies. It is an MVP Promotions, so they're already, doing their promotional work They already got the pre-sale going well in advance, got the pre-sale going. It's like you can see how professionally laid out this whole thing is when it comes to MVP promotions. And I'm not trying to dump on anybody else. I'm not trying to, say anything against anybody else. I'm just noticing the difference in the announcement of the fight, the promo for the fight, the pre-sale is already going on, and we got plenty of time before the fight starts to get things hopping with it. It's also going to be on ESPN. This is Alycia's second time, I believe, headlining a fight that's going to be shown on ESPN. And that's huge because ESPN is like the upper echelon of sports, period. And for women, we know that a lot of times women, we have to be extra, do more, prove ourselves in order to be in some of the same places as men. So for ESPN to be picking up this fight, clearly MVP is in talks, negotiations, doing whatever needs to be done in the background so that their fighters are getting the exposure. Their fighters are still working because not only is Alycia having a fight coming up, but Michaela Mayer also has a fight coming up. So they keep their fighters fed, okay? And they do good business from what we can see, right? So I'm excited to see this fight because it sounds like it's going to be a challenge. And what's the point in being in a sport if you're not challenging yourself, right? You're risking a lot, right? Alycia is risking another loss. She has one loss on her record. And if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember the young lady's name who she lost to, but she came back and beat that lady. Okay. It takes a lot of guts to face someone who's beaten you before, right? And it's a blemish on your record, and you feel like, dang, I got this one loss, but I'm gonna face this same person with the potential to lose again. And she didn't, though. She trained hard. She did whatever she needed to do. She came in there with whatever she needed to come in there with, and she won that fight. So here she is again, taking another challenging risk, taking another chance to prove herself as an athlete, another bout with somebody who, it sounds like it's challenging. I will do more research on her opponent to see, what her fights are looking like and everything. One thing that I did notice about Alycia Baumgardner is that she is very strategic in how she moves, how she presents herself, how she carries herself. Yes, she's a fighter. And so, yes, all fighters talk junk. I know you might have seen some back and forth between her and Caroline Dubois. Caroline Dubois was saying that she's ducking her and she's scared of her. Of course, Clarissa Shields has also had her many instances of going back and forth with Alycia Baumgardner and saying whatever she's had to say about Alycia Baumgardner. But what I like about Alycia is that she does not seem fazed by it. She doesn't completely lose it when people are coming for her. She just continues her training, continue her hard work. She said what she got to say, and then she made moves like she did today. She's going forward with her fight schedule, right? Obviously, whoever she's chosen to fight and who's chosen to fight her, they've negotiated whatever needs to be negotiated to come to the mat, or excuse me, to the ring, and they're going to make the fight happen. Now, here's what I'd also like to say when it comes to Alycia Baumgardner. It's been a lot of talk that, Amanda Serrano has been the face of MVP promotions and the face of women's boxing, whatever, however you want to call that, because of her record, because of her fights, because of, all the different things that Amanda Serrano has done. And a lot of people are saying that they are priming Alycia Baumgardner to take over that I guess that aura, if you want to call it that, take over that spot that Amanda Serrano will eventually vacate, because at some point, I believe Amanda has like 50 fights under her belt. At some point, she's going to retire, just like any boxer does. All boxers retire. It's at some point where they say, hey, I'm done. I've done all I can with the sport, right? I believe they're priming Alycia Baumgardner for that head honcho spot at MVP. What's up? How you doing? So I think that Even though she's gotten caught up a couple of times in some back and forth with Clarissa Shields, she's gotten caught up a couple of times with Caroline Dubois. She's keeping in mind what she's priming herself for. I dare to say that perhaps those ladies know what it is and perhaps are trying to throw her off her game a little bit, trying to toss her aside, whatever. But I like her focus. Let me get into this really quick. Another thing that I noticed about Alycia Baumgardner with her being strategic is that she had made an announcement, or the show maybe had made an announcement, Special Forces, about the fifth season. And they, let us know who the people were that was going to be on there. Alycia Baumgardner is one of the people, right? So, what I like about that is Alycia is getting herself out in front of people. For people who don't follow women's boxing at all, don't really watch boxing at all, whatever the case may be, they might not know Alycia Baumgardner. But going on a show that's on the Fox network in its fifth season and being a contender, it's showing her physical prowess. It gets people to see who she is like as a person, her personality and everything. And it's a very strategic move. It's a good move because she may gain some fans off of that alone. Not only that, she could potentially gain some networking relationships. Okay? Because whatever you do as far as work is concerned, people's experience of you, people being able to work with you, people like either enjoying or not enjoying your presence matters, right? So I think it's very smart for her to have done the show, have met people. She's going to allow people to see who she is outside the ring. All of these things could be a draw, right? If she plays it right. If she plays it right, which I believe she understands what she needs to do. I believe that she's intelligent enough to carry out the task, not only do something that she could potentially enjoy because she seems to enjoy physical activity, but it's pushing her outside her comfort zone. It's allowing herself to be opened up to something else. It's allowing her to venture into other things because at some point she's not going to want to only box. At some point she's going to let boxing go altogether. But she's carving the avenues now. She's making the relationships now. And that's what it's all about. You have to create relationships because then relationships create opportunities. And opportunities get you places that you never thought you'd go. A lot of times, we see people embarking upon things and they'll say, man, I had no idea it was going to be like this. I did not know what doors could open, right? So the fact that the show Special Forces will be shown on Fox, I believe in September. Her fight is not until November. It was very strategically done. And even if she didn't come up with that strategy on her own, clearly she has a team of folks that's helping her think through this, that's helping her say, okay, what can we do to, get you more out there? ESPN fight, amazing. Like, that's a huge thing because again, you get no bigger than ESPN in sports, right? So you talking somebody coming from another country to fight in the United States with her, that's even more exposure. You never know what doors can open. And I like the fact that MVP is forging the relationships that need to be forged. And it's bigger. They think on a grander scale for their fighters. They think beyond themselves with their fighters. They think, okay, how can we make this bigger? How can we make this grander? Even with Amanda Serrano's fight that she just had this past weekend or whenever it was a couple of days ago, the fact that, it was on TikTok live, right? Over 3 million people consistently through the whole thing was watching that fight. And I'm pretty sure that she got paid well for those streams because with the fighters, from what I understand, they get paid in so many different ways, not just for the fight, but for streams, if there's a pay-per-view, if there's a gate, like, so, they're doing things outside of the box when it comes to women boxing. And so I'm excited to see what happens with this fight with Alycia Baumgardner. Like the fights that I've seen her in, she's very technical. She's very strategic. You can tell she's very thoughtful in what she's doing. You can see that when she executes her moves, she's already thought about them. She's watched tape. She knows what her strategy is. You can tell when she adapts. So, y'all tell me what y'all think. Like, is this the fight that you guys are interested in? Like, from the way I see it, it's a really good way to just keep her relevant in the boxing game. I think this is her second fight of the year. I believe she fought in April earlier this year, won that fight. And so the greater the risk, the greater the reward is what I say. Definitely. Because I don't think that this girl that she's fighting is going to be easy to beat. She is 14-0. I think Alycia may have 17 fights or something like that. I can't remember right now, but it's very evenly matched, definitely. So they have about the same number of KOs, and so I'm excited to see it. I want to know where the future of boxing is going as far as the other ladies, because unfortunately, when it comes to women boxers and stuff like that, it's moving forward in a way that perhaps maybe leaving Claressa Shields out. Okay. And that's what I mean. Like, this fight with Alycia Baumgardner, her carrying on, like the way MVP is putting on fights with ladies. You just had Amanda Serrano. Now we have the announcement of Alycia Baumgardner. We had, announcement for Michaela Mayer. It's just the sport is moving just fine forward, without Claressa, right? A lot of people have been asking, like, oh, will Claressa and Baumgardner ever fight? There's so much noise around their battles outside the ring, their arguments, their, whatever, run-ins, whatever you want to call it. And at this point, I don't know that would ever happen, mainly because of the ban that MVP has. I don't see Alycia leaving MVP because from what I can tell, she has a good working relationship with them. She enjoys being with them. From what I can tell, I don't see MVP lifting the ban against Claressa. So that's one of the reasons why I don't think that fight will work. Another thing is they have to agree on weight. Alycia moved up to 135 to make this fight that she's doing in November. But would she be willing to go up any more than that? Would she be willing to go up to maybe 147 at the highest? I doubt she'll want to go up to 154 because from what my research told me, 154 is the lowest that Claressa ever fought at, and that was 5-6 years ago. Okay, so I think that Alycia is being very smart in her career and her choices. I think that MVP really backs their fighters. From what we know, we haven't heard any of them say anything other than that. If something else happens, then I'm sure we'll find out at some point. But I'm ready to see it. Like, we want a professional level women's boxing match going forward. And I know that the fight that Claressa just had, and I'm sorry that I'm comparing, but it's kind of hard not to, right? Because when you look at was there even a promo for Claressa Shields' fight with K. Scott? Like, they made the announcements, of course, but was there an official, like, promo type of thing that we got? I don't recall. If it was, then y'all let me know. But it was just, the undercard was really erratic. It was really just all over the place. It included reality TV stars, celebrities. They very late in the announcement before the fight, they added some actual boxers to the undercard. They was doing all kinds of tricks and stuff trying to get people interested in the fight. Whereas with this, it's a higher level of professionalism. Because even though it's boxing, even though it's supposed to be entertainment, I think what makes this announcement different is the level of professionalism that we see. A lot more people, I believe, will be instantly interested in this fight because of the professionalism, because of the record of the ladies, because of what's being said about Alycia Baumgardner in the field, as well as her opponent. I think the interest is definitely there, but we'll see. Of course, the numbers will tell. Of course, we will, get to see what the response is over time. It is August, the end of August. November is a long way away. It's a long time from now. So we'll see. I saw in the comments and on Twitter, Caroline Dubois was calling Alycia a coward and stuff like that. Not sure why they have an issue with each other aside from just talking mess with each other. Like, I don't know at what point that it got ugly between those ladies, but I just feel like they're both on the MVP, right? They're essentially co-workers, and there's just so much vitriol between the two, right? I don't know that that would help anything because her fight, Alycia Baumgardner's fight, is going to go on anyway. It really does not matter. Like, at the end of the day, I'm thinking it's going to be a success, but we'll just have to see. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Meanwhile, I'm going to look up some information about her opponent that we can talk about because I really didn't have time before I got on here to look it up. So I'm going to look it up while we're on here together. Let me see. Okay. So, like I said, her opponent is Elfin Nurturhan, and she has 14 wins and no losses with 8 knockouts. This is an actual challenge, right? Because I believe Alycia has only 7 knockouts. So it's telling me that she's fighting someone with an awesome record. 14-0 with 8 knockouts. That's huge, right? But she's being called scary. All right. It says she enters this fight fresh off a major knockout win over Olympic gold medalist Beatrice Ferreira. Okay, so she beat Ferreira, who was one of the undercards for Clarissa Shields' last fight that she just did. Okay, so she's a worthy opponent for sure. For sure, like there's no doubt about it. She's a worthy opponent. She's coming in. People are saying that she's a heavy hitter. People are saying that this is going to be a good fight. Now, let me see what the general buzz is about this. Because, yeah, it says the matchup is centered on the high stakes of a win at all costs super fight. They're already calling this a super fight, right? Like, clearly it's a super fight because the ladies' records, the risk that they're both taking fighting each other, right? Because most valuable promotions just finalized the announcement. The boxing community is hyper focused on several key narratives. Okay, like I already mentioned, they have the 3 minute, 10 round fight. That's not the norm in women's boxing. Okay, she's going up in weight. Alycia is. Okay. It says that the general consensus is a classic speed versus power matchup. Baumgardner brings superior footwork and sharp counterpunching, while Turan brings relentless pressure and knockout capabilities. So Alycia is risking being knocked out, right? She's risking being knocked out. I don't think she's ever been knocked out, but she's risking it because this lady just knocked somebody out. And her knockout potential, like we just said, is great. Out of 14 fights, she's knocked out 8 people. She has not lost a fight yet. So that's what it's all about, though. It's about the blood, sweat, and tears. It's about the risk. It's about making sure that you are not only just collecting belts or whatever, but you're actually challenging yourself, right? Because let me say this, a hard fought loss, can't nobody be mad at that. If you fought hard and you lost, at least you gave it what you had, right? But an easy win, it just don't hit the same. It's a win, but then it's not. You're always going to be kind of side-eyed because it's a win, but it wasn't a challenge, right? We want to be entertained. We want to see somebody go the distance. And I know this ain't Rocky because I remember when I first started watching like actual boxing, I was like, this is kind of boring in comparison to Rocky until I started appreciating the art of it. And so I started to understand that like Rocky wasn't real. You know what I mean? So that's what I can appreciate about this fight. You know, as time go on, we'll see what the masses have to say about it. I'm sure we're going to see more and more about Alycia's opponent and her past fights and what she's done. We're going to start comparing what Alycia Baumgardner has done in her past fights. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be like mad stars out because anytime there's a fight that's already creating a buzz and people enjoy sports, they're going to show up. So I don't know. I think it's going to be good. I don't think ESPN would allow it to be on their network if they didn't think it was going to be good. And that's another huge thing, you know. And then it also mentions Caroline Dubois. It says this fight is heavily buzzing as a crucial stepping stone toward an explosive future showdown with Caroline Dubois. Fans have long anticipated a Baumgardner-Dubois clash. By moving to 135 to take Turhan's IBF belt, Baumgardner is directly entering Dubois' territory to set up a massive unification bout down the line. And see, that's what I'm saying about her. Alycia is very strategic in what she's doing. In her mind, I can see, and I don't know her, but I'm thinking in her mind, she's like, okay, I'm gonna move up to 135. Okay, I'm going to do this fight. She's thinking I'm going to win this fight. I'm gonna get this belt, and then it'll prepare me even more for Caroline Dubois. She understands that win, lose, or draw, you gain so much experience, you gain so much knowledge in challenging yourself. You gain so much knowledge in the lessons that you learn with the experience. And that goes for anything, though. Whatever your field of study is or whatever your line of work is, when you are challenged, you grow exponentially. You learn so much. And who knows, win, lose, or draw, whatever she encounters in this fight, she can learn from it and take it into her next fight. And if her next fight after this one is Caroline Dubois, so be it. You never know. One thing I do know about her, though, is she does things in her own time, her own way. And no matter what anybody is saying, she knows her path. And it looks to me like her team of folks, they understand that as well. She does not overtalk. She doesn't overshare. Okay? You can't guess what her next move is. It doesn't matter what anybody else is saying or thinking. She just pop out. She just pops out. And I like that. Okay? I like that because everybody don't have to know every move that you're making. You don't have to announce every single thing as you're doing it, as you're thinking it. You see, that's the difference. Let somebody be surprised. Give somebody something to look forward to. All right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited about seeing this fight. I don't know who else is because I think for me, I just want to see the level of professionalism in women's boxing that we had before. With the men's boxing, no matter what happens, it's still a of professionalism that's there, right? Um, that's missing right now in women's boxing with the last event that we had with Clarissa. And I'm hoping that these fights that's coming up will be kind of like a reset to kind of purge the karma and the aura of women's boxing and just kind of get it back to what we do like and love about boxing in general, women's boxing in particular. But y'all let me know what y'all think, because is it that, you know, do you think people are going to watch it? Do you feel like it's not as exciting because Clarissa isn't in the mix? Do you feel like a fight with Clarissa and Alycia would be more in tune with what people want to see women's boxing right now? Because me personally, I don't know. That would be interesting though to see those two. I just don't think it's ever gonna happen. I really don't. I really don't, because I feel like if it were even a consideration, it would have already been talks about it before now, before the ban. Um, when it comes to the ban, I don't think they're gonna lift it. The one thing they did say about it was Clarissa owes them an apology. She's not gonna give it. She's not gonna give it. You can forget it. So, honey, it looks like we're moving forward in women's boxing. And we're looking forward to a few fights. The Amanda Serrano fight is already done. 3 million streams plus on that fight. We have Michaela Mayer. We have Alycia Baumgardner coming up. And who knows what's coming up in the next, year or so. But I'm gonna go ahead on and get out of here, y'all. If you haven't already, I ask again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. I appreciate all of my subscribers, all of the people that watch me. Listen, I was looking at my analytics, and about it's like more people that watch that aren't subscribed than are. So if you find value in the content, if you like the lives, join me, interact, comment, like, share, subscribe, all the things. Again, I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all in the next one.